Okay, hello IM2 student. Today we will start with our module 6.2. Day 2 is on transforming quadratic functions. Content standard. Student will be able to transform a quadratic function by replacing it with positive or negative values. Language objective. Student will work in pairs or small groups to both give and listen to oral clues about graph of quadratic functions. Okay, so let's do a review from our day 1. So describe the transformation. So here we see that our A equal to 2, so then that means that we have a vertical stretch. And our H is positive 4, so we shift the graph to the right 4 unit. And K is a negative 6, so the graph shifts down. And here we know that A is 2, so we have a vertical stretch. And H is a negative 3, so the graph shifts to the left. And number 5, K is 4, so the graph will shift up. And H is 5, so the graph shifts to the right. And K equal to 2, so the graph shifts up. And H is a negative 4, so going left. And K is a negative 5, so the graph shifts down. Okay, so for day 2, so now we're adding our value A to our graph, right? Okay, so the vertex form a quadratic function is g of x equal to A times the quantity of x minus x quantity squared plus k, where the point hk is the vertex. Okay, so remember that hk is the vertex. The axis of symmetry of a quadratic function is of the form of the vertical x equal to h. So then this is part of the vertex here, right? To graph a quadratic function in the form g of x equal to a times the quantity of x minus x quantity squared plus k, first identify the vertex hk. Next, consider the sign of A to determine whether the graph open upward or downward. If A is positive, the graph open upward. If A is negative, the graph open downward. Right? Then generate 2 points on each side of the vertex. Using this point, sketch the graph of the function. Okay, so the 2 points we want you to do is that we want you to do h plus x plus h and ay plus k. Okay, so here we want to graph the function g of x equal to negative 3 times the quantity of x plus 1 quantity squared minus 2. So we see that they vert, so then identify our parameters. So a is negative 3, so we have the graph open downward, and h is a negative 1 and k is a negative 2. So that's form our vertex, right? So we see that we take x plus h and ay plus k. Okay, so then this is our x and that's our y. So we have a negative 2 and a negative 1, so give us a negative 3. And a is negative 3 times 4, give us a negative 12 minus 2, so give us a negative 14. Right, so let me do this step by step. So negative 1 minus a negative 1, so give us a negative 2. And a is a negative 3 times 1 minus 2, so give us a negative 5. Right? So let's do this in our head. So 0 minus 1 is a negative 1. And negative 3 times 0 is 0 minus 2, so we have a vertex there. And 1 minus 1 is a 0. Negative 3 times 1 minus 2, so give us a negative 5. And 2 minus 1 is 1. And negative 3 times 4 is 12 minus 2 is negative 14. Okay, so we can graph negative 3, negative 14, so it's here. And negative 2, negative 5, so is somewhere here. And negative 1, negative 2, so it's here. and 0, -5, so it's here, and 1, -14, so it's here. So our graph gonna open down this form, right? So the vertex is -2, sorry, -1, -2. So then our maximum y equal to -2, and our axis of symmetry x equal to -1. So let me draw the axis of symmetry. Right, so here is our axis of symmetry. Okay, so number 3, write a quadratic function. Writing a quadratic function given the graph. Right. So here we have our g of x is equal to 2 times the quantity of x minus 1 quantity squared minus the 7. So in first, we see that a is 2, so the graph can open upward, and we have a vertical stretch, and our h is 1 and k is a -7, so it gives us that the vertex is 1 and -7. We see that this is x plus h and ay plus k. So we can use mental math to do this. So we have -2 plus 1 gives us a -1, and 2 times 4 is 8, minus 7 is 1. -1 and +1 gives us a 0. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 7 gives us a -5. 0 plus 1 gives us 1. And 2 times 0 is 0, that gives us a -7. And 1 plus 1 gives us a 2. And 2 times 1 is 2, minus 7 is a -5. And 2 plus 1 gives us a 3. And 2 times 4 is 8, minus 7, that gives us a 1. Right? Okay, and one thing I need you can notice that these numbers, they're repeat, right? So we can graph, so then -1, 1, so it says -1, 1 is maybe somewhere here, and is 0, 0, -5, so it's here, and 1, -7, so maybe somewhere here, and 2, -5 is here, and 3, 1 is here. So this is our graph looking like this, right? Okay, and you guys will graph a better graph on graphing paper, right? So I'm doing this on a screen, so they slide back and forth. Okay, so for number 5, right? So here we know that our A is -1 and H is 2 and K is 4. So then so the vertex is 2, 4, right? So the graph, alienated the graph and open downward. So this is x plus h. So let me erase this part. So it's going to be ya or ay plus k. So -2 plus 2 gives us a 0. 4 times -1 is -4 plus 4 is also a 0. Right? And -1 plus 2 gives us a +1. And -1 times 1 is a -1 plus 4, so that gives us a 3. And 0 plus 2, that gives us a 2. 0k, which gives us a 4. And 1 plus 2 gives us a 3. And -1 times 1 is -1 plus 4, that gives us 3. And 2 plus 2 gives us a 4. and 4 times negative 1 is a negative 4 plus 4 gives us a 0. So we have 0.00 and 1, 3 and 2, 4 and 3, 3 and 4 zeros. So the graph downward. Right, so we're expecting to be downward. And then for number 13, A is positive 2, so the graph will open upward. And the vertex is going to be negative 3 and negative 1. Right, so x plus h, ay plus k. Okay, so then negative 2, negative 3 give us a negative 5. And 4 times 2 is 8, minus 1 give us a 7. Negative 1 and negative 3 give us a negative 4. 1 times 2 is 2, minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. And this is negative 3, negative 1 is the vertex. 1 minus 3 is the negative 2. 1 times 2 is 3, and 3 minus 8. 1 times 2 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. And 2 minus 3, negative 1. So 4 times 2 is 8, minus 1 is a 7. So negative 5 and the 7 is here. Negative 4 and 1. And negative 3, negative 1. Negative 2 and 1, and negative 1 and 7. So this is our graph. Right? Okay. So I'm going to have you guys try this out. So since A is negative, so the graph will open downward, right? So our reference point will be h, x plus h, and ay plus k, right? And we can use mental math for this. So we say that negative 2, negative 1 give us a negative 3. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, plus 2 give us a negative 6. Negative 1 and negative 1 give us a negative 2. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 2 give us a 0. And the 0, 0 will always be your, whatever your vertex is. Okay. So 1 minus 1 is a 0. And 1 times negative 2 is 2, give us a 0. And 2 minus 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is negative 8, plus 2 give us a negative 6. Okay, so negative 3, negative 6, so it's here. And negative 2, 0, it's here. And negative 1, 2, so it's here. And 0, 0 is here. And 1, negative 6 is here. So the graph will open downward. Right? Okay, and for number 7. So here we have a fraction, so A is 1/2. Right, since it's a positive, so the graph will open upward, but since A is 1/2, so then we have a compression. Okay, and H is positive 2, K is 3, so the vertex is 2, 3. Okay, plus H and AY plus K. So negative 2 plus 2 gives us a 0. 4 times half is 2 plus 3, that gives us a 5. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Half plus 3 gives us 3.5. So 2 and 3. 1 plus 2 to give us a 3. Half plus and half plus 3, so this is also 3.5, and 2 plus 2 gives us a 4, half of 4 is 2 plus 3 gives us a 5. Okay, so 0, 5, 1, 1.3, so maybe somewhere here, and 2, 3 here, and 3, 3.5, and 4, so the graph may be somewhere here. Okay. Okay, so here a ball follow a parabolic path represented by the function f of x equal to -2 times the quantity of x minus 5 squared plus 9. Use this equation for number 9 through 12. So for number 9, what is the vertex? Before you do that, let's identify our parameter first. So -2, so the graph will open down, and we have a compression. Right, and h is a positive 5 and k is 9. So the vertex will only be h and k, so it will be 5 and 9. So the axis of symmetry is x equal to 5, whatever this answer is. Okay, so we need two points. So we have the vertex already 5 and 9. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at this point here, right? Okay, so we see that we can pick 1 point to the left and 1 point to the right. So for example, when we pick x equal to 6, so then we can put into our function. So we said -2 times 6 minus 1, 5 is 1, square minus 9. So this gives us a -11. My mistake, plus 9. So let me change that. So plus 9, so that gives us a 7. Okay, and then the other point, when we pick the 1 point to the left of that, so when x is 4, so we have -2. 4 minus 5 is a -1, squared plus 9, so then this gives us a -2 plus 9, so this is also a 7. So then 6, 7 is point, and 4, 7 is this point. So then the graph will open downward, and we're expecting from a -2. Okay? So then that's the end of day 2. So we have our book work. And we need you guys to finish your HRW and copy down 6.3 day 1 notes.